All right, we just pulled this S550 in. It's getting a pre-purchase inspection. I did a lot of this stuff during the test drive on the interior to check out everything on the inside. I just found a couple of little tiny things around on the inside that might be worth mentioning. Let me go over to this side. Most of it's over here. I haven't popped the hood or anything like that yet, but just tested all the buttons and lights and switches and seat belts. All that stuff works. You've got this sunshade button on the right rear door that's broken out. It's in there still, but these have a problem where there's two pivot points on each of these, like a little pin on this side and a little pin on this side on each one of these buttons. And this button here, I don't know if you can see how it's not flush, but it seems like the inside one of that is broken out. Like how much I can sort of move the buttons back and forth. It's hard to describe. I should probably keep a sample of one of these, but that's on its way out. There isn't supposed to be any of that motion there. Here, I'll show you on the other side for comparison. Also, the back of this seat, this flap is getting a little loose. They wear out over time too. It's just these little tension straps here is all that pulls this to. So no big deal at all, just something to be aware of. What was the last thing? Oh, this little airbag button, which I'm not familiar with seeing. Like, it's not a common thing for these to get brittle or whatever. A lot of times you see these broken out because there's a bolt or clip behind them, and that's how you take off this A-pillar trim anytime you have to take out the dashboard to get anything in there or deeper into the car for any kind of repairs. I don't even know if you can really get that separate. It's looser than it looks now that I'm actually picking at it, but anyway, at the very end of that is just chipped off. But nothing doesn't work. Both the massaging seats work in the front, heated and cooled seats in the front and rear, that all works. Here, let's see if I can get a good comparison of these buttons here, how much closer they are together, and how there's not slop in this side to side. That's about how it's supposed to feel. But that's all for the inside of the car. Everything else, yeah, as many features as it does have, everything works. All the assistant features work. All the seatbelts buckle, the air's cold and the heat's hot. All right, so let me get the hood open now and get all the engine covers taken off, and we can see what's going on under here. Okay, I just got all that taken off, and as I was doing that, I remembered this last thing I was gonna point out in the interior. So just to note, this little cup holder cover is supposed to be like a push detent style where you push it and it pokes out, or it shuts. That's open. This is supposed to be shut. And you see you have to kind of pry it out to get it out. No big deal. These stick like that a lot of times, and it's just to replace the housing in them. Yeah. The most expensive part is this cover, like this, whatever wood trim this is. But the actual mechanism part of this is all that would be. And there's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't really come out super smooth. But wanted to point that out too. This one does. Okay, onto the engine bay. So one of the first things I noticed when I got this open, these are super common to fail at around this time range. This like little slinky accordion section of the air intake tube, they unravel and come apart like that. This one's holding up better than that side, but you just always replace these together whenever you do them. It's super common, and you want to get it addressed before it sort of unwinds and gets caught up in the engine belt and other things as they come apart. But every time you take them on and off, they come apart a little more. And then whenever they heat soak too, it doesn't help them very much. Let's see, all these engine covers seem to come off pretty good. Usually there's always clips broken on these. This one has all of them. So does this one, I think. Yeah, I guess that all looks good. I unplugged these camshaft position sensors because it's a super common issue on especially the earlier versions of these V8s to get oil in them, and it pushes oil all throughout the wiring. But this is where they originate from, so all these are perfectly dry, so that's good. One thing I did start to notice is the water pump pulley on these. I'll explain that in just a second. Let me finish looking around here. That's a big job though, that engine wiring harness I was talking about. So I'm glad to see these sensors aren't leaking or nothing in there. Let me plug these back up. Okay, what I was saying with this water pump pulley. This is the water pump here, this big one with the ribs on it. This one. and you can see the belt riding on it here. Well, this little section sort of, let me see if I can aim with my little pocket screwdriver here. You can see how this pulley is beginning to come out, like towards the front of the vehicle from the belt. Like this is where the belt used to ride, right there where the tip of the screwdriver is. And you can see there's about that much distance there where this pulley is starting to slip out of the front of the water pump. So the pulley comes this way. It has just barely started. So at the very least, keep an eye on that, like next year this time, and see how much more it's out. But once those things begin to get unpressed, then they come out pretty quickly. And it's one of the manufacturing defaults with this style of water pump. And they have a revised version now, but you do have to replace the water pump because the pulley's supposed to be made into it. So, of course, if this came all the way out, then, you know, the pulley would come out the front of the water pump and then all the coolant would dump everywhere. So that's worth noting that that's an upcoming job at some point in the future. Everything else looks pretty good up here. This, I can tell these timing covers have been done before because this isn't the factory sealant path. This little black strip of sealant here is what I'm talking about. And the Mercedes sealant path isn't. That's not how, like the style that they lay it, like the robots. This side kind of does, which is weird. You never really do those together. These are common leak points. These are the cylinder head timing covers. But you'll always do them together. I don't know why just one would have been off. Maybe a warranty repair. Sometimes warranty doesn't cover stuff like that, weird scenarios and things, but this one I can see is starting to leak. Let me see if I can get a focus on some of the oil that's down in there. You can sort of see on the side of that one bolt that has the little blue paint on it, and sort of on the bolt beside it you can see some oil. It's hard to get a focus down in there. You can see the buildup of grime where it's starting to come out. Sort of on this one too, you can see on the front of that bolt how there's like that greasy buildup on it. Yeah, this side looks a lot better, but that's because this timing cover's been off only for some reason. Let's see. It's not a AMG model, so you don't have the oil cooler, which would normally be here. And it's a good bit more to do this same repair on those engines than the non-AMG engines. But regardless, you'd want to have that on the radar too to get addressed at some point. I'll be able to see if it's leaking a lot from down below, but I can see a pretty good bit there going down the side of the cylinder head, leaking out from this timing cover. Let's see everything else though. Don't see anything else out of place, broken, leaking. The main coolant's a little low. You usually want that to be sort of where the black and clear come together. Center coolant, you have some in there. This is for the turbochargers and transmission cooling, and that one's just for the engine. I'm just gonna take a peek down the side of this engine to see if there's anything obvious I might be able to see from up top. Like I said, most of the stuff, if it's bad enough, you'll be able to see it all the way at the bottom and then trace it up top to see where it's coming from, if anything happened to be leaking. Which I don't see anything. I'm curious to see if I'll be able to see this leak all the way from down bottom on this left cylinder head timing cover. But no, I don't see anything else from up here. Let me get it lifted up, check all the tire pressures and everything, and get the undershields off so I can see what's going on under there. First, let me check the tire pressures, which is on a sticker in this gas door. And I was gonna check for this strap to be broken, which it is. This is normally where the tether strap would go. Here, this is supposed to be one piece. They break off a lot from the fuel tank. It's just a little strap that's supposed to keep it attached to the actual car, like a tether strap. But anyways, would need a new one of those. But I'm really here for the tire pressures. This is gonna be 245/50/18. So the top number on normal load is 32 front and rear. Okay. Okay, I just got it lifted, got all the undershields off. And yeah, first thing I noticed, the very first undershield that came off, which is the middle one here, has quite a bit of oil residue around the middle of it, there and there. So just to check this out, I can see this lower oil pan is pretty wet with oil. These drain plugs on these are one-time use. Some people try to reuse those. It's a plastic plug with a rubber seal. Like, it's not like a regular bolt that has a crush washer on it or anything. But it seems to be coming from more than just that. And I'd expect, you know, the oil to be accumulated sort of in one area. I don't see a ton coming down from that timing cover on this left side here that I was looking at up top. I would say it's this oil pan gasket. I wonder if that was from like a sloppy, it's hard to tell if some of this was from like a sloppy service or if we've got multiple different leaks forming, or whenever they had that left timing cover off and didn't clean up the oil, then it dried into like this residual. Here, let me see if I can get a focus on what I'm talking about. This like residual oil up there where it's not actively wet, but you can see like it's grimy. Just from someone like not, there's like an alcohol based cleaner you use to clean off oil so it doesn't leave residue like that, so that you don't mistake it for leaks in the future. But it's definitely dripping out now. I mean, like, this is all liquid oil. The fix isn't that bad at all, but I would say to address the timing covers, get a new seal on this, and then clean everything back up. And if something else is leaking past that, I highly doubt it, but if it is, you'll be able to see it on the next service. That's really the only common places it can come from. There's one other seal up here that holds back oil, but they never leak, and that one's not leaking at all. I don't see any signs coming from that whatsoever. So it seems pretty obvious to be coming from this. So yeah, I would say get that on there. And it's not dripping off the back of the engine yet. Those timing covers, they'll drip all the way back down the cylinder head and come off the back of the engine. It's not that bad back here right now, but you do have this black camshaft plug right there. You can see how the like outer edge of it is shiny with oil. Those leak pretty commonly on the back of this engine and the V6 version of this engine as well. But that's not very much at all. I mean, I wouldn't be concerned with this whatsoever. Like, that's not even enough to form a droplet yet. The only leaking enough to form a droplet is this lower oil pan one. But let me check over the rest of the suspension now that I'm down here. All these ball joints and stuff. That bushing looks a little suspicious. Let me finish looking over everything else here. And the cap here is missing from this is the bleeder screw where you'll change brake fluid at. There's supposed to be a little cap on the top of that. These tires are really thick though. These are like brand new. Here's the 2025 tire. Brakes are good. Okay, this bushing. Got a bit of a tear starting to form inside there. If I can get a focus on that bushing. There, you can see that tear starting to form right there. And it's a little black, and these bushings on these are gel filled, if I'm not mistaken, on the S-classes. It's a base S-class, non-all-wheel drive, but it'll look like this whenever like that gel leaks out. Like this. Sort of, oh yeah, no, that one dripped out. Yeah, so I'm surprised it doesn't squeak when you drive it. I didn't notice it. You can see how that's like sheared off right there. I don't know if you can tell, like that shiny piece of rubber. Okay, here's the section I'm talking about. Right here where I can slip the tip of the screwdriver blade in. Right there. I can hold the phone steady. That slit isn't supposed to be there. That's supposed to be one block of rubber there. So yeah, those are torn out. These rear ones look good. Some little stress tears, but not like the rubber separating like they are on these front ones. And these aren't too bad either. If I'm not mistaken, these bushings alone can be replaced and you don't have to get this whole control arm. So it'll just be a matter of taking this control arm out, pressing in new bushings, and then readjusting the wheel alignment. Let me look over the rest of this side stuff, all these ball joints. Those all look good. Here's that cap that's missing from the other side, this little rubber cap here. So it's on that side at least. All that looks good, that strut looks good. see, roll bar end links and the bushings. Let me check these out. Yeah, that looks good. I might look at that with a closer eye when I'm down even with the vehicle. And these are the sway bar bushings, or roll bar. Starting to get some cracks in it, but nothing super deep. See like these dry rotting cracks? That's not to be concerned with though. You have several years left on this, I would say. That's not very bad at all. Okay, going back down the rest of the engine now. Everything looks good from back here. I was already checking that out. This transmission's been serviced at some point, I can tell. It's good to see. And these oil pans get replaced every transmission service because the filters are built in with it. So that all looks good. Nothing leaking from there at all. Drive shaft looks good. This transmission mount, that's pretty far down. Yeah, that's collapsed. Not gonna be able to see that, but I know how these feel whenever they collapse down. And the motor mounts too, you'll do those in pairs with the transmission mount. So this is the mount here, but you can feel, you know what you're feeling for. It's the original mount I can see too, 2016 date code. It's a 2017 car. That seems about right. I can tell it's collapsed. Like I shouldn't be able to squeeze this much of my finger in the top of this. So I know that like the transmission's sagging way too far down, and these are the mounts that hold the transmission in, and there's two up here that hold the engine in, and they work. And those are the only three things that hold the engine and transmission assembly in the car. So they wear out over time since they're so soft in luxury cars like this. The rest of that looks good. Exhaust seems sturdy. This rubber disc is starting to get some decent tears in it. The front one looked good. You have another disc like this that holds the drive shaft to the transmission, and one in the back here that holds the drive shaft to the differential. And you can see between the bolts, you start to get these cracks where the rubber will start tearing apart. These aren't very deep yet. I'd be comfortable saying you have another year left on this before it's deep enough, you know, to start being concerned with, but it's definitely showing signs of starting to come apart. So I'm gonna look over the rest of the back of the suspension, check these mufflers for rattles. All seems good. The rear suspension on these are really stout, so you rarely see anything wrong. I meant to check the date code on that tire too. Let me do that in just a second. I don't expect to find anything wrong with the suspension back here. The axle boosts look good. The shocks aren't leaking anywhere. All that looks good. This tire's brand, all these tires are brand new, they look like. 2025 date, yeah. Let me see what this one was. 2025, that's good. Yeah, brakes are good. Yes. All this suspension looks good back here. It does have probably 6-7 items around the whole car, but it's all pretty small, minor stuff, just barely starting to form. I think it would be very manageable to space a lot of this stuff that needs to be addressed out on the front of the car, like across a series of a few years, and it'd be a lot more manageable. Some of it doesn't need to be done right away anyways. It's just sort of worth noting so that you can look back at this video, you know, 3 years from now, if you have something that starts to get exponentially worse, you can see how much worse it had gotten throughout the time. Just a couple things, and all the stuff that is wrong with it are super common issues. Like I don't see anything broken or out of place. I don't see any aftermarket parts fitting poorly, nothing like that. This whole radiator pack looks good. It's just packed with leaves, which is common. And the condenser and radiator and secondary radiators and all that stuff. But no, I don't see anything detrimental at all, anything serious at all. So yeah, all in all, it's pretty good. Okay, so apart from that, while I still have the undershields off, I'm going to hook up the diagnostic computer and see if there's any fault codes in here that's worth exploring. If there are, I'll either quote diagnosis for those or figure out what they are, and that'll conclude this one. Okay, just got the diagnostic report back. Well, it's loading, but all the control units just got scanned. So let's see what's all in here. see. Got one in the air conditioning for a right front air vent short circuit, but it's a stored code, so that will go away whenever I clear it. There's one in the engine computer, a communication issue that's stored. Message missing, stored. See if there's any that are current. Those are the only two options with fault codes. It's either something's currently wrong or at some point it detected something that was wrong. Most of the time you will see a slew of stored fault codes. I don't see anything concerning at all. Let me clear all these away and see which ones, if any, even come back. This might clear up all the computers in the whole car. Let me see how many there are. We're clearing 11 different computers. This car has a total of 67 separate computers. Okay, every single one's green. So these are each subgroup, and these are all the computers in each subgroup. You can see every single thing has a green check mark. So nothing electrically is wrong in the whole car. So yeah, apart from like the couple little visual things that I found just barely starting to go out, other than that, the whole car looks perfectly fine, especially for this age, and especially the earlier models of these twin turbo V8s that had their fair share of issues. But this one seems to have either avoided that or had got pretty strict upkeep along the way up to this point. One thing I just noticed right now when I was leaning against this, these are missing caps. On the outside of the S-Class grills only, for some reason, don't ask me, they serve no function at all. There's a little black cap that goes over this bolt and over this bolt. Not this one, and not this one, but it's missing both the ones here and here. So I wonder if this has been off to get to something at some point, either a repair or something like that. Like I said, it's all Mercedes-Benz parts, so I don't think it's definitely, if it's been a part, it's been put back together properly. It's just missing those little caps. It's almost like a decorative thing. So yeah, but once you get down to stuff like this finite, it's pretty safe to say the rest of the car looks pretty good, which it does. So I'm going to put all this together, and yeah, like I said, get the video sent to the customer, see what he wants to do about purchasing it, and if he wants to get any of this stuff addressed, we'll get that scheduled in and get it going.